QSD from the Denver Radio Club. Welcome to the Denver Radio Club Net, being held on repeater W0TX. This is a meeting held on the air every Sunday evening at about 8:30 p.m. Good evening. My name is Jim. My call sign is Kilo Zero, Tango Oscar Romeo. I'll be your net control station transmitting from Littleton, Colorado. If there is any emergency or priority traffic during this net, say break at any pause, and the net will be suspended until the emergency or priority traffic is completed. This net is for Denver Radio Club members and all interested radio amateurs. We're here to share information concerning any AM-related activities. Regular meetings of the Denver Radio Club are held on the third Wednesday of every month at 7 p.m. And yet, with the COVID-19 restrictions, we have virtual meetings. We meet on Google Meets, and the address for that website you can get on our club website of W0TX.org, or if you're on our mail list, you'll actually get the address by email. Our next meeting will be on January the 19th, and Elmer's session is held at 6 p.m., just prior to our monthly meeting. This session addresses any amateur radio questions you might have. So whether you're new to amateur radio or interested in some new application of amateur radio, this is a session where you can get help. Also, every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m., except the third Wednesday when a monthly meeting is held, there's a learning net held on 145.490 megahertz and 448.625 megahertz. This is another area where you can find answers for your amateur radio-related questions. As a general interest club, we provide emergency communication for the Salvation Army, City of Wheat Ridge Police Department, City of Lakewood Police Department, West Metro Fire District, and St. Anthony's West Hospital. We're always looking for members who would like to participate in this support. Please contact our club president if you'd like to help. Our current president is Jerry Vilhauer, W0GV. Jerry's telephone number is 303-467-0223. The Denver Radio Club website address is W0TX.org. And again, Jerry's telephone number is 303-467-0223. The Denver Radio Club also participates in the ARRL Volunteer Examiner Program. If you have a need for VE testing, would invite you to stay tuned to this net. We try to pass on any test sessions that are being held in the area. But again, due to COVID, we don't hold our test sessions as often as we did, primarily because it requires a greater distancing for those who are taking the test. And we have members of other clubs that also pass on their testing information here on this net as well. So try and get that information out to you. Any testing that we do through the Denver Radio Club is listed on our club website. And again, like I said, we try to pass on here as well. If you have other questions, you can contact our VE team lead, Tom Koszalski, KC2CAG. His phone number is 720-284-1911. This is the Denver Radio Club Net, W0TX, and this is K02R serving as net control. Are there any special announcements or bulletins for the net this evening? If so, please call now. Before regular check-ins, I'd like to welcome and invite any visiting radio amateurs to check into the Denver Radio Club net this evening. During this net, we disable the requirement for the 100 Hz PL repeater access tone, so you can use either 145.490 MHz with a minus 600 kHz offset, or 448.625 MHz with a minus 5 MHz offset. Are they visiting radio amateurs who would like to check into the Denver Radio Club net tonight? If so, please call now. Next, I'd like to welcome and invite any newly licensed or recently upgraded radio amateurs to check in. Please call now. I'll now take regular check-ins in groups. Please let me know if you have traffic when you check in, and I'll get back to you. First, radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin letters A through E, Alpha through Echo. Please call now.
W0TX repeat.
Well, let's try that again with the station identifier coming in. First, radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin with letters A through E, Alpha through Echo. Please call now.
KA5 DKS Ken in Arvada.
Whiskey Bravo 0 Alpha Kilo Victor, WB 0 AKV Rich in Westminster, no traffic.
N0 ETV Lance Aurora, no traffic.
And Net Control would like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-ins. KA5 DKS Ken, and WB0 AKV Rich, N0 ATV Lance. Make a second call for radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin letters A through E, Alpha through Echo. Please call now.
Kilo Charlie 0 Charlie Zulu, Violet Thornton.
Net Control would like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-in. KC0 CZ Bob. Move on down the alphabet. Radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin letters F through J, Foxtrot through Juliet. Please call now.
Alpha 0 Juliet Kilo, AA 0 JK, Fred in Arvada. Good evening, no traffic.
W0GV Westminster. N0 GWM Leon in Lakewood.
Whiskey 0 India Bravo Alpha, Eric in Hudson, no traffic.
Kilo 6 Hotel Juliet Victor, K6HJV Tom Arvada, no traffic.
November 1 Golf Uniform Mike, Peter in Littleton.
And Net Control would like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-ins. AA0JK Fred, W0GV Jerry, N0GWM Leon, W0IBA Eric, K6HJV Tom, and N1GUM Peter. Make second call for radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin letters F through J, Foxtrot through Juliet. Please call now.
Kilo Foxtrot 0, Foxtrot Papa India. Ron in Lakewood with a question, if I may.
And Net Control would like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-in. KF0 FPI Ron with traffic. I'll get back to your question a little later, Ron. And let me move on down the alphabet. Radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin letters K through O, Kilo through Oscar. Please call now.
Kilo 0, Kilo Papa Sierra, Kevin Lakewood.
Whiskey 0, Lima Foxtrot, Orland and Golden. No traffic, over.
Kilo Echo 0, Oscar Sierra India, Tom, Highlands Ranch, no traffic.
This is Whiskey Alpha 4 Mike Bravo Golf, Bob in Aurora.
KD0 NRO, Reed in Arvada.
Net Control would like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-ins. K0 KPS Kevin, WW0 LF Orland, KE0 OSI Tom, WA4 MBG Bob, and KD0 NRO Reed. Make second call for radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin with the letters K through O, Kilo through Oscar. Please call now. Moving down the alphabet, radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin letters P through T, Papa through Tango. Please call now.
Whiskey Bravo 2, Sierra Hotel Romeo, Stanton, Denver, no traffic.
November 0, Tango Romeo Papa, Jim in Lakewood. Good evening.
Kilo Echo 0, Romeo Victor Zulu, John, Lakewood. No traffic.
Good evening to Jim in the Net. Please copy Kilo 0, Tango Oscar Charlie, Dave Evergreen, no traffic.
Net Control would like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-ins. WB2 SHR Stan, N0TRP Jim, KE0RVZ John, and K0TOC Dave. Make a second call for radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin with letters P through T, Papa through Tango. Please call now. down the alphabet. Radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin letters U through Z. Uniform through Zulu. Please call now.
Double.
Whiskey 0, uniform, uniform, uniform. Bill, Denver, no traffic.
KB0, uniform, India Golf.
Michael G, no traffic.
Kilo Delta 0, Whiskey, Papa, Quebec, Tom and Aurora.
Sierra, Cannon, Broomfield, no traffic.
And Net Control would like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-ins. W0UUU Bill, KB0UIG Michael, KD0WPQ Tom, and I believe it was K0YES Ken. Got the first part of that cut off with identifier, I guess, but I believe that was correct. Did I get the right call there, Ken? That was you? All right, make a second call for radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin letters U through Z, uniform through Zulu. Please call now.
November 1, Zulu, Tango Tango, Dan in Denver, no traffic.
Net Control would like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-in. N1, Zulu Tango Tango Dan. And let me open up the entire alphabet. Radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin letters A through Z, Alpha through Zulu. Please call now.
This is Kilo Echo 0, Yankee Kilo Victor, Bill in Lakewood.
Kilo Foxtrot 0, Alpha Foxtrot Quebec, Troy in Denver.
Net Control would like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-ins. KE0YKV Bill and KF0AFQ Troy. Be a chance for late check-ins a little later in the net. And next I'd like to invite our club president, Sherryville Howard, W0GB, go through and cover club business. Go ahead, Sherry, the net is yours.
Okay, Jim. Well, thanks for doing the net. Welcome, everybody. I hope everybody had a good New Year's and safe New Year's. It was pretty quiet around here. Kathy and I didn't do really much of anything but stay in and run the snowblower. So good to have some moisture and all. Some bad events here lately. We heard of one of the Boulder guys from Bark that lost their home. So bad times for a lot of people. Let's see what we got coming up is our meeting on January 19th, and we're going to have John W6NBC do a presentation on antenna tuners and different types of antennas and the type of antennas that need the tuner right at the base of the antenna. So, antennas and tuners and all that are all of great interest to us all. And John is a retired broadcast engineer and so forth, and extra class license, of course. So it'd be a good presentation on antenna tuners and different types of antennas to match them with. So make your calendar available for January 19th. And again, Happy New Year to you and yours, and we'll see you then. W0GB, back to you, Jim.
W0GB, this is K02R. Thanks, Jerry. Look forward to that presentation. And let's see, KF0FPI, Ron, you had a question? Go ahead with your question.
Yeah, my question is pretty simple. I wanted to know the transmission locations of this repeater, the 890 and the 6 meter. My information tells me that the 6 meters on Green Mountain in Lakewood, and this one's in the Centennial Cone. I just wanted a confirmation of that, if I could get one.
Yes, KF0FPI, this is K02R. Yes, you're correct. This repeater and the pair that's coupled to it on UHF, they are located on Centennial Cone. And the 6 meter repeater is on the Green Mountain, basically in that area.
Okay, thank you very much. KF0FPI, back to net. Thanks.
KF0FPI, this is K02R. You're welcome, Ron. Don't see anyone else that indicated they had traffic. This is the Denver Radio Club Net, W0TX, and this is K0TR, your net control station. Does anyone have any other comments, information, or business for the net? If so, please call now. All right. Are there any late check-ins? Please call now.
Kilo Bravo Niner, Quebec Delta Golf, Carl, Lakewood, no traffic, Jim.
And net control, I'd like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-in. KB9er, QDG, Carl. And make one call. We have any other late check-ins? Please call now.
W0TX repeater.
All right, and I'll review upcoming Hamfests and next weekend's contest. The first Hamfest we have on the calendar is off in a couple of weeks, later this month. That's going to be Northern Colorado Amateur Radio Club's Winter 2022 Hamfest. That's going to be on Saturday, January the 15th. And let's hope it hangs in there. So far, so good. That's going to be held at the ranch, also known as the Larimer County Fairgrounds. And doors open, well, that location, just before I move on, is on 5280 Arena Circle in Loveland, and that's just east of I-25, just east of Loveland. Take exit 259 off of I-25, and their address is 5280 Arena Circle. Should be a lot of traffic heading that way. Go a little bit east, and then you head north, and talking about 3/4 of a mile east on Crossroads Boulevard, and then head north on Fairgrounds Avenue, and it's a 1/4 of a mile, so it should be fairly easy to find. Doors open at 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Admission is $7. Table reservations for 8-foot tables. Pre-registration runs $13 to $17. The variation in price depends on location on the floor, and whether you have power or need power, or you also need a outer location so that you can actually run coax out to antennas, that type of thing. So that's what the variation in price is. For advanced table registration, you can go to ncarc.net and take care of you. They will have licensing examinations. They start at 9:30, and if you come just to take your license test, admission fee is not required. Just let them know at the door. And if you're upgrading, they ask that you be sure to bring a copy of your current license. And let's see, the second one that we have on the calendar is the Adams County Fairgrounds. That's called the Swap Fest, and that's located on 9755 Henderson Road in Brighton. And that's going to be on Sunday, February the 20th. Doors open 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Let's see, admission is $5. They have testing that begins at 10 a.m. And let's see, 6-foot table advanced purchase is $13 each. And tables at the door are $20 if there are any available. If needed, the vendor setup begins on February the 19th at 7:15 a.m. And if you need more information, you can go to n0ara.org. And let's see what we got as far as upcoming contests. First one I have on the calendar is the PODXS 070 Club PSK Fest. It begins on January the 8th at 0 hours Zulu, goes through January the 8th until 23:59 hours Zulu. That's on 80 through 10 meters, and that's, of course, a digital contest. Next, we have the YBDX contest. Begins on January 8th at 0 hours Zulu, goes through January 8th until 23:59 hours Zulu. That's on 80 through 10 meters, and that is a phone contest. And next, we have the Old New Year contest. Begins on January 8th at 0500 hours Zulu, goes through January 8th until 0900 hours Zulu. That's on 80 through 10 meters. That's a CWN phone contest. Next, we have the Skcc Weekend Sprintathon. Begins on January 8th at 1200 hours Zulu, goes through January the 9th until 23:59 hours Zulu. That's on 160 through 6 meters. That is a CW contest. Next, we have the Rstb Afs Contest. Begins on January 8th at 1300 hours Zulu, go through January 8th until 1700 hours Zulu. That's on 80 and 40 meters. That is a CW contest. Next, we have the ARRL RTTY Roundup. It begins on January 8th at 1800 hours Zulu, go through January 9th until 23:59 hours Zulu. That's on 80 through 10 meters. That's a digital contest. Next, we have the EUCW 160 meter contest. Begins on January 8th at 2000 hours Zulu, goes through January 9th until 0700 hours Zulu. That's on 160 meters. That's a CW contest. And next we have the NRAU Baltic Contest. Begins on January 9th at 0630 hour Zulu. Goes through January 9th until 0830 hour Zulu. That's on 80 and 40 meters. That is a phone contest. And next we have the DARC 10 meter contest. That begins on January 9th at 0900 hour Zulu, and goes till January 9th until 10:59 hour Zulu. That's on 10 meters. That is a CW and phone contest. Next we have the NRAU Baltic Contest. That begins on January 9th at 900 hour Zulu. Goes through January 9th until 1100 hour Zulu. That's on 80 and 40 meters, and that's a CW contest. And a couple of reminders. The High Noon Net, they meet daily at 12 noon, with early check-ins beginning at 11:30. They meet on a frequency of 7.240 megahertz, which is on the 40-meter band. And also the Salvation Army Saturn Net, they meet at 1500 hours Zulu. That's 8 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. They meet on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on a frequency of 14.325 megahertz, which is on the 20-meter band. The Denver Radio Club maintains the following repeaters for use by all radio amateurs: 147.330 megahertz with a positive offset, a 145.490 megahertz with a negative offset, a 224.380 megahertz with a negative offset, a 449.350 megahertz with a negative offset, a 448.625 megahertz with a negative offset, a 447.825 megahertz with a negative offset. Our digital turbo repeater operating on Brandmeister on 446.7875 megahertz with a negative offset, and our C4 FM digital repeater on 449.775 megahertz with a negative offset. The 447.825 megahertz repeater is configured for narrowband FM, and that requires a digital coded squelch of 073. There are two repeaters on 147.330 megahertz. The repeater in Lakewood requires a 100 hertz field tone, and the second repeater located east near Franktown requires a 131.8 hertz field tone. We have a second repeater on the same frequency out east to improve coverage along the Front Range and into the canyons. However, having two repeaters on the same frequency with each repeater having different frequency propagations, we ask that you monitor the frequency to ensure neither is in use prior to making your call. The 449.350 megahertz repeater provides wide area coverage, and this repeater hosts our Echolink station, W0TX, node number 4140. And the 448.625 megahertz repeater is linked with the 145.490 megahertz repeater. Each repeater requires a 100 hertz field tone for activation, except as noted, and each uses standard offsets. And for packet, we have an AX25 node on 145.050 megahertz repeater, and we have a 6-meter repeater on 53.09 megahertz with an input on 52.09 megahertz with the required 107.2 hertz field tone. Your support of the Denver Radio Club is greatly appreciated. If you'd like to participate in any of the many club activities, please contact our club president, Jerry Vilhauer, W0GV. I would like to thank everyone for checking into the Denver Radio Club Net tonight. Your support is greatly appreciated. I hope you have a great week. 7-3. And tonight we had a total of 29 check-ins, and the Denver Radio Club W0TX Net is now closed at 9:05, and a repeater is available for regular use. This is K0TR Net Control Station, and please stand by a moment while I return the PL tone to the repeater. And this is K02R. I'll be clear. Happy New Year to everyone, and good evening.
K00TR. This is KB0UIG. Will you copy?
KB0UIG, yes, K02R, back to you.
Yeah, still surviving. I meant to call you, but my phone messed up. And I got a bed for $200, well, bed and room for $200, so I'm still alive.